Good evening. It's actually been a long time since I've done a real video, and I thought I'd spend a little bit of time just going over a few things that I have planned for the Doozie while it is still out of here. Still getting some work done, it's getting the skid plates done. I actually called and had him do a couple other things for me as well, which now pushed everything back, which is fine. I have no intentions, I have no plans actually for a trip or deadlines that I want to get things completed by. So I'm not in a rush to get any of that done. I'm at his mercy right now, just making sure it gets done right. So I'm going to spend a couple minutes just going over a handful of things that I have planned for the whole revival series. So I'm going to go ahead and go over probably, let's say 4 things. Let's just do 4 things. That seems reasonable. So the first thing is, yes, well, I won't count it because you already know. Skid plates, the skid plates are getting done. And I think the first thing that I am going to actually end up doing is I am taking care of some mechanical stuff that has been neglected. I have a valve cover that I do, I got timing belt, water pump to do, I have motor mounts I gotta do, I also have ball joints, tie rods, I have an axle I want to replace as well, and the drive shaft. The drive shaft is in need of some attention as well. So I'm going to start with a lot of the mechanical stuff before I start getting into the cosmetics. The cosmetics are definitely something that I am really excited about, and I cannot make up on my mind. I can't make up my mind on a few different things, but so that information, more information on that is going to come out later as I try to make up my mind on so many different options. Trying to make the Honduzu, the Doozie, pretty cool compared to your typical 4Runner or a Jeep, right? One of my main goals is for a lot of these, a lot more. I want like more people looking at this platform as a possibility for an overland off-road vehicle, just because it is still such a small niche at this point. So anyways, moving on. So mechanicals, a lot of maintenance, mostly maintenance, a couple repairs, and then I'm going to get into a couple of modifications. And I think the first modification I'm going to make is I actually have a 3-to-1 transfer case already built, fully mechanical, so I have to slap that in, and that's going to come in part when I do my drive shafts, get that all done, taken care of. I'm going to send the drive shafts out to get rebuilt, and I think I'm going to actually get the rear one lengthened as well, maybe an inch or so, and then I also have, so I have to modify the shifter a little bit as well because it is mechanical compared to the shift on the fly 4-wheel drive button. So I'll have to do a lockout on that front fork for the actuator. And that is all going to be compiled into the same, I would say, the same job then, right? The next thing that I plan on doing is this is a good one. So I know it sounds silly, but I'm gonna do a phone mount, right? I have been playing around with a couple of different options. I currently have a RAM mount, which I really like. I actually like how simple it is to put the phone in and take it out. And its display, its location, I have it right now, is pretty good. But there's a lot of bounce on the road, so it just jiggles around, and I want to solidify that a little bit better. So I'm working on trying to figure something out that looks good as well as functions as exactly as I want it, which is to be as firm as possible without bouncing out of the mount. So that's going to be a pretty fun one. And then I also have a fuel hose. Fuel hoses. I actually have a couple of ideas because I have an aftermarket. Well, not aftermarket. So the same fabricator I went to, he had corrected my transmission crossmember, which was twisted. It actually, he's the one that's doing the same skid plates, because we had provisions installed for when I came back to get the skid plates done when I was ready to do that. But what happened is over time that transmission crossmember twisted and the back of the engine was touching the firewall. So he was able to actually reposition everything and make a solid crossmember, but as an exchange for all of that, the fuel lines need to be rerouted or secured better. They're just a little too close to the cat. If you're familiar with how it lays out, it kind of sits in a channel in that cross member. So I want to correct that so it stays away from the exhaust, so I don't get vapor lock. That would be something I want to really avoid, especially here in Arizona. That could be a real problem. Let's see here. Yes. All right, let's say, all right, let's go over a couple of cosmetics. I really didn't have a plan for this video. I just want to kind of talk about a couple things. So cosmetically speaking, I am keeping the roof rack. The front runner rack is staying. I do plan on getting an ARB front bumper as that time comes. That would be fantastic. I have been going back and forth on doing a rear bumper with a swing out, or just doing a rear bumper and keeping the spare tire on the door. So that is still something that I'm kind of in limbo. I'm pretty solid set on leaving it the way it is and just having a plated rear bumper built. And then sliders as well. I'd like to do a set of sliders. And then that will be good for as far as that, the bumpers and armor, right? A roof rack, the straight cosmetic stuff. Secondary, I actually am gonna tear it down a bit. I'm gonna pull out the windows, the seals, the door panels, headlights and taillights, and I'm planning on sending it out to get repainted. So I am going back and forth on color. I can't make up my mind. Right now, I am just under the impression that I'm going to respray a fresh coat of the same silver just so it looks original as possible. But I have a couple colors that I am deciding on. Unfortunately, one of my favorite colors on vehicles is a Toyota color. So maybe that would be a nice compromise to get people to start looking at Isuzus as a possible option as well. And then the other modifications that I'd like to really do is setting up proper lighting. So I've just, in the meantime, just had Amazon, lights from wherever that were budget friendly and effective for the time being. But I think it's time to get something a little bit better, a little bit more functional, a little bit more purposeful. Instead of just building a car, I want it to have purpose and more meaning to it. So instead of just throwing stuff at it and going out and playing with it, I'm actually trying to make this a little bit more of a, I'd hate to say it, but like a little bit of a show pony, right? And I don't want it to sit as such, so I still plan on using it a little bit here and there. So I do plan on doing proper lighting, so front light, roof light, keeping the idea of 360 lighting. And to control that, I've been going back and forth on Switch Pros or the Trigger 4, Trigger 6s. I really like the wireless setup on those. I think that is a very neat and clever idea. Those are just a few things I want to kind of go over and touch base with you guys. If you have any suggestions or input on what you guys think would be pretty neat, special tricks, things you'd like to see, I'm definitely open to it. And I'm just kind of moving at this at my own pace and just taking 2025 entirely. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'd love to hear them. See you guys later.